How you doing, folks? Broc Man here for another episode of Muscle Box TV. We're here at the Powerhouse Gym at Knorr and rising Sun Ave, the Long Crest section of Philadelphia. We're going to go up and go inside and meet some of the competitors here in Philadelphia. So let me welcome you in to Powerhouse Gym. Okay, folks, Broc Man here for the Muscle Box TV. I'm here with first year competitor. This is a crazy story here and a remarkable story. I have a competitor here who's never done bodybuilding before. He's a well-known power lifter for years with a lot of titles under his belt. Mr. Steve Webster. Steve, I hear this year you jumped into the bodybuilding realm of the sport. Never doing a bodybuilding show in your life. Could you tell the folks back at home, you know, what got you motivated to step into these waters, these new waters?
Absolutely. You know, I was always into the big weights. Heavier is better. You know, I didn't care about biceps or abs. It didn't matter. I always had a flat stomach, but I could always bench over 600, you know, 650, 660. One day I was in the gym maybe 5 years ago, and I was benching, and I think I had 585 on, something like that, and I was doing sets of 3. And on the third one, I felt a twinge in my shoulder, and I said, wow, that felt weird. Didn't pay it much mind, you know, because it didn't really hurt.
Sure.
Next day, I came in to do shoulders. I could not military press 135.
Wow.
It was like someone put a knife in my shoulder in the back here.
So there was an injury there.
I tore my labrum.
Oh.
I went and had the arthriogram where they stick the needle through.
Yep.
They said you got a significant tear in your labrum, and your days of lifting are pretty much over unless you get it fixed. And then if you get it fixed at your age, you may never come back. Right. So I said, well, age is just a number now. I said, I'm 48 now. I'll be 49 in 2 weeks. And I certainly haven't let out from the time I was 28 till now. You know, so I keep at it. But with the injury, I took a whole year off.
Let it heal?
Let it heal. I had a cortisone shot put in, and my wife came to me and she said, honey, you're looking a little robust. She goes, do you think you could possibly, you know, maybe start walking or something? So I said, all right, you know what, I'll go to your gym. She went to a little foo-foo gym. I went down there and I took dumbbells and I took 50s, did incline presses. Didn't hurt. So I went to 60s.
Wow.
So to make a long story short, I stay away from the barbell bench press and I have no shoulder problems. Militaries, I either do dumbbells or I do Smith machine. But I needed something
to get you back.
To get back. Just the lifting to lift made no sense to me.
Right.
I'd rather go do something else if I can't compete.
Sure.
So I went from the bodybuilding, which, you know, most bodybuilders and powerlifters don't really see eye to eye.
That's right.
And then I switched over 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now, to bodybuilding. And I needed to make a couple years of adjustments to get the training in. The diet's the biggest thing.
Right. Right. Doing all that dedication
type
of style.
There's a lot. There's so much more to bodybuilding than there is to powerlifting. And you know, I'm not taking anything away from powerlifting because I love it, and if I didn't have injuries, I'd probably still be doing it.
Right, but that's where you get a lot of this big size from.
Yeah, absolutely.
All those years of doing that regimen.
And my father making me cut wood every summer.
Sure, sure.
So I made the transition. I did my first show in July, 1st of July, first week in July. I got second in the Open, and
that was the Mr. Pennsylvania.
Yes, and I plan on this year doing a tune-up show wherever, New Jersey, PA, whatever, and then going straight to the Masters Nationals
for 2015
in Pittsburgh with Gary Udick. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I plan on doing his show.
So here, you know, that switch over, like you were saying, you know, the regimen, you know, it's totally different than the powerlifting.
Absolutely.
The diet and the dedication. You know, what was that all about? Like the transition, like setting up 7 meals a day and and the dedication that it takes to change your lifestyle.
It was tough, and when I was powerlifting, I would eat when I felt like eating. I'd get up in the morning. If I felt like eating at 7 a.m., I ate. If I didn't feel like eating until 11, I didn't. But I would have big meals. Right. I would have 10 eggs, a pound of bacon, 4 pieces of toast with peanut butter on it. I just had huge calorie meals.
Sure.
Now I get up at 6. By 6:30, I have to have my 10 egg whites and 2 yolks, and I have to have my 2 cups of oatmeal, and it's just so regimented. But it wasn't like, hey, you know what, I'm doing it, I'm on track. I fell off the wagon quite a few times.
Right.
Because it's so tough. You miss 1 week meal, and then all of a sudden you're 3.5, 4 hours into your day because of work. Next thing you know, you're a meal or 2 behind, and nobody wants to stay up till 3 a.m. to eat the last meal.
That's right.
So you end up missing one.
But then it starts to get a little bit more stricter.
It gets a lot easier.
Then it gets a little easier, but then it gets a little bit more stricter because that hunger to want to compete, this is what it's got to be done for you to come into your best. Would you prep? I mean, when you're your heaviest weight, and then you decide, okay, what do you need? 20 weeks, 14 weeks?
Well, I had a mishap on my first trial here. I had a person that was helping me, and we were 8 weeks out, and I had been doing my cardio, but he still had me on white rice. He still had me on pomegranate juice, some high-calorie shakes, which I started researching. I started asking people like yourself, this doesn't seem right to me.
Right.
And they said, why are you on this? They said, get rid of that. So I was staying soft looking, and I said, I got a show here in 8 weeks. I got to get my act together. So I went home and I researched, and I said, you know what? I'm going full out here. The last 7 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it was, I went 10 ounces of tilapia or cod, 8 spears of asparagus, 0 carbs, 8 meals a day, 7 days a week. I did an hour of cardio first thing in the morning, fasted, and I did another hour at 9 o'clock when I got home.
There you go. And you started cutting.
I started cutting real quick.
Right. Yep.
But the mistake I made is I lost size.
Right.
I wanted to be conditioned, so I gave up some muscle to be conditioned.
Right.
This year, it's 22 weeks out. I'm going to start in February, and when I show up to a show, I am going to be so dialed in.
Right.
And
give yourself enough time, you won't peel off as much muscle.
Exactly.
And a famous bodybuilder, I don't know which one it was, and this is something I always sticks in my head. When you're dieting, sometimes it's like when you boil on your chicken, and you're breaking down and you're getting some of the rest of the fat off, sometimes some of the meat goes with it.
Right.
And that's what happens with a diet. I'd rather come in razor sharp, conditioned, than a little smooth because you didn't time it right. And that's giving yourself enough time, 20 weeks, 16 weeks. Since that was your first show, now you know how much more time you need. You'll probably next time be ready 4 weeks out.
Absolutely.
And then you'll just maintain it right to the show.
Absolutely. I just want to make sure I give myself that 2 to 4 week leeway. If I need to make a change, if I want to make an adjustment, I got time to do it.
Sure.
Because competing 2 weeks is a lifetime when you're down in that
I believe it. Every
6%
hour.
range.
Every hour, sure.
You can lose weight like this. So my goal this year, I was on the Dave Palumbo TV show not too long ago, me and my wife. And Dave asked me, how big am I going to be next year? And I said, Dave, this coming year, I've got everything organized to where it's going to be a 22-week pre-comp. I go, everything's going to run real smooth. I go, I hate to make predictions because you know as well as I do if you show up at 265 and you're chiseled, or if you're 275 and soft, you want to be 265.
Right.
I said, but I am 99.9% sure I will be on stage next year, 275, 280 plus, because I was 338 last year and I had abs at 338.
Wow.
And I went down to 260.
That's
so
crazy.
I lost a lot of size. So.
Well, you know what, Steve? When I first noticed you when I walked in, I said, my God, this guy's huge, and then for you, just to be stepping on that stage, the first time, it had to be a thrill getting out there, knowing that you made it, and this is the best you've ever looked, because you're a power lifter. Like you said, the diet ain't the same. You're pretty much eating what you want, it's just about attacking the weights. Now you're on a restricted diet, you're more dedicated, there's a schedule every day. So it must have been a thrill to get up there and then to take second place in Mr. Pennsylvania. That is, when you live in this area, that is the ultimate, man. That is like, that's a goal everybody wants.
the morning of going to the PA States, we drove up, me and my wife and our daughter, and we're driving up. We got lost, of course, and the first thing they all teach you is don't let your anxieties get going and you'll smooth out.
Right.
So here I am trying to stay calm, and the GPS keeps telling me to take lefts, so we kept making circles.
Right.
So I said, all right, let's just relax, pull over, and let's figure this out. So called somebody that I knew was up this way. He directed me in, I got there, I went and I weighed in and all that stuff, registered. And I was nervous the night before, I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
I was nervous.
Sure.
And then of course you have to go through all the spray tanning at night and all that. So I got down to the show the next morning. Listen, all my fears were gone. In my mind, I said, I'm 48 years old.
And you made it.
I am whatever percent body fat I was.
Right.
I've already won.
Sure.
So whatever place they put me in doesn't even matter.
That's right, it's icing on the cake.
So yeah, I said, I had the greatest time of my life. If nobody's ever done this, I highly recommend it because it's so rewarding to the person. Sure. You just see that you do this, there's nothing in this world you can't accomplish.
Right.
Is the way I see
That's
it.
right, that's right. Is there anybody you would want to thank for that, all that, hours and hours of dedication and prepping food and all that stuff?
Well, there's some people I definitely want to thank. My wife, Tracy. We have some gentlemen in here that are nationally ranked competitors. Yousef, he was a big help to me. Phil Treble, Mike Pence was instrumental in helping me get through the last 7 weeks. Eric Freckle out of Dallas, Texas, another good friend of mine, helped me out a lot. And those people, without them, I feel like it would have been a much rockier ride.
Sure.
Than it was.
Everybody needs help. I mean, that's what this sport is. Everybody needs. Even some of the biggest IFBB pros. Everybody's got trainers. Everybody got dietitians, and to get to that next level, that's what it takes.
Absolutely.
So what? Can you show us around the facility?
Absolutely.
And now, how many square feet would you say you have here?
It's right around 13,000 square feet.
Okay, and you're open 7 days a week?
7 days a week. We're open Monday through Thursday from 5 to 11 p.m. Fridays we do close at 10 p.m., but we open at 5 a.m. Saturdays it is 7 to 5, and Sundays is 9 to 5.
Okay, all right, Steve, why don't you show us around the facility here at that Powerhouse Gym?
All right, and this is a gym for real hardcore lifters, a lot of bodybuilders. We do have a lot of power lifters as well. This is our cardio equipment right here, down this aisle and off to the left here. And as you keep walking down through here,
and I see a lot. Looks like you got everything you need here. You got your ellipticals.
We do. Once you start your pre-comp, one of these become your best friend.
That's right. That's the only way you're going to condition that physique, to be at its best.
Here, obviously, we got the calf machine, glutes, hamstrings, all of our leg equipment's in here. As well as I do, a lot of this stuff comes down to, a lot of free weight.
Sure.
The pulley and cable stuff work for...
Yeah, you got to have old school. You got to incorporate some of that old school with the new stuff, and that's how you get that what they say, a perfect physique. You know what I mean?
Hopefully I have that. Up here, we have one of the most sought after pieces of equipment we have is right here, the squat machine.
Oh, beautiful.
My Body Master.
Nice.
Everybody who comes in PA, Delaware, New Jersey, they all want to come and use this.
Sure. Yeah, we don't even have it where I'm at.
Oh, this is a great machine.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like me, that you have a real hard time getting your arms back.
Sure.
You can do squats here. I also have a squat rack that allows you to get on the Smith machine and open it up this way and keep your hands in like this to squat.
What do you have, some MMA over here or Muay Thai? All right, Steve, you got a fenced in area here. Is this for like Muay Thai or MMA?
No, this is where we keep our bad clientele.
Okay.
What we have here is we have TRX training. The bands, the ropes, all that. We have a gentleman that comes a few times a week, and he actually goes in here and he has all the TRX bands, and he trains a lot of athletes, football players, women runners. You know how big that Tough Mudder's getting.
Right.
A lot of the people that do that want to finish in the top 5 percentile come here and they train with him. He provides a great way to build a real strong core without adding a lot of weight.
Absolutely.
Okay,
sure. Yeah. And I think every sport needs that type of training.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? All right, Steve, what about this section here of the gym?
We got 2 different sets of dumbbells. We got the Hectagon that goes from 0 to 100 pounds, and then we have the Pro Style set that goes from 0 to 150 or 60.
Okay.
You know,
guys like yourself.
Well,
you know what I mean, yeah, you ain't toying around with the little toys.
I try to leave the 30s and 40s to somebody else.
There you go. There you go. For guys like me, right? Okay.
This is a gentleman here. His name's Yousef.
Yousef.
He's a nationally ranked competitor.
Nationally ranked. What was your last show, Yousef?
My last show was Team Universe.
Team Universe.
Yes.
NPC.
Yes.
Down in Miami.
Yeah, not Miami. In Jersey, North Jersey.
In North Jersey. Okay.
Before that, I did Garden State.
The Garden State.
Won the overall.
And you won the overall.
Yes.
Are you pretty close to show condition?
No.
Okay.
I'm eating right now. I'm eating. I'm pretty good.
You're pretty close.
Not too clean.
Okay. Not too clean. Just taking a little bit of fat so that your body, eat some of that stuff.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. Cool. What'd you do at the Team Universe?
Got the top 10.
Top 10.
But for the show, the qualifying show, Garden State, I won the overall.
Okay.
Heavyweight.
Oh, heavyweight. And what'd you do in the Team Universe? Light heavies?
I did heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
It was kind of tricky because they mixed the heavyweights with the super heavyweights.
Okay.
So it kind of threw me off. You know
Sure.
what I mean? So,
yeah. And what was your weight in those shows?
my weight was like 211.
211. Wow.
From Garden State, I was actually 207.
And you're like what? 5'7"?
I'm like 5'8", 5'8".
5'8". Okay, that's a lot of muscle, man, for that frame, man.
Absolutely.
I can just see it, man. You're bulging, man.
My goal is next year to come in at least 220, 225.
Okay.
If I can't accomplish that, then I'm not doing anything until I accomplish
So
it.
you knew by standing next to some of them other competitors.
Well, actually, some of the super heavyweights thought I was like about 230.
Wow, because you were so conditioned.
Yeah.
I mean, because you may be a little lighter, but when you're conditioned, man, you look like 250.
Absolutely.
At 211. Well, that's great.
Yousef was one of the guys who was very instrumental in me getting to my first show.
Wow.
He helped me out. He asked nothing from me.
Wow.
Didn't ask me from anything. He said, I'll be here, we'll look at you, we'll help you pose.
Sure.
Without him, I don't know if I would have been able to do it.
That's a man that wants to give back. You know what I mean? That's a man that wants to give back to the sport. And I think that's what the bodybuilding community is all about, regardless of if you're in natural bodybuilding like I am, or if you're in the NPC or any other federation. Bodybuilding is bodybuilding. We all want to help each other to achieve getting up on stage. And that's such a great thing. I see so much positiveness. I just love. I said that to myself every time I write a little story. I say, you know what? I became a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? It's like it's your dream. Everybody wants to do it, but it's a journey. You know what I mean? And it's not something you just do once and you do twice. It's years and years and years.
Right.
My first show I was 21 in Mr. Philadelphia. Now at 57 with 63 shows under my belt. I always tell people, man, give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance to love the sport. You know what I mean? And then once you start getting them shows under your belt, you'll want to give back in any which way you can. So, Yousef, I thank you for helping this guy, Steve Webster, experience getting up on stage for the first time. And I'm sure he lived his dream, and he's got a journey that we're all going to see.
I didn't know if he felt bad for me because I was older than him.
No, you're good. I might want to say generation. We're a generation.
He went to my show. Meant the world to me.
Wow.
When I saw him come back there and he was there, all that mattered to me is how he thought I looked.
Wow.
Because I know how he looks when he's competing.
Sure.
And there is very few conditioned like him.
How long have you been training?
I've been training since I'm 44 years old right now.
Okay.
I've been training since I was in junior high school.
Wow, so it's in your blood.
Not bodybuilding, but just lifting the weights up.
Right.
Push-ups. With curling bar.
You remember what your first show was?
In Philadelphia Classics.
Okay.
That was 1996.
Okay, was that the Reverend Rivers show?
Yes.
Yeah, I did Reverend Rivers show. Yeah, Reverend Brown. Yeah, super nice guy. When I come back to Philly, I always have to do Mr. Philadelphia. Either Tracy Greenwood show or War on Igaboo, which is MGA, or War at the Reverend Reverend Brown, yeah. And my brother always says to me, why can't you just come up on vacation? You always got to do Mr. Philadelphia. That's because I want to kill two birds with one stone. You know what I mean? I'm a bodybuilder.
Yeah, that's it.
So, it's a pleasure. You guys made my vacation coming here, meeting two great bodybuilders at Powerhouse Gym here. Would you say this is Longcrest, this section here of the city?
This is Northeast Philly.
Northeast Philly? Okay.
Is it Longcrest? It is
Northeast, okay. But, it's a gym. I knew it was here for years, even when I lived here. But obviously, you can't go to every gym. No. Even though I did when I was a younger bodybuilder, I went everywhere. Jersey, Philadelphia, it was the best, you know what I mean? And one thing about gyms, bodybuilding gyms, they let you in with open arms.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not like, well, hey, you're from over there. No, you're not. No, it's like open arms, man. People treat you like family, and I love that. And Philadelphia is always my home, and I'm going to stay true to the iron gods of Philadelphia.
That's it.
So, is there anything else you guys want to say? Do you have a website that we
I'm sorry,
contact yet? No. Okay, but we will definitely keep you in touch. I know you've probably been on muscular development. I'm sure some of the other muscle people in the sport have definitely covered you. Steve, I know you just said you were on RX Muscle. You had an interview with Dave Bobo.
Yep. Me and my wife were there. We did a little interview. He kind of went over the background of my powerlifting days to the bodybuilding, how the transition was. And he made the same comment, power and bodybuilding, they didn't get along too well. And I said, well, you're right. Until I got injured, and I said, all of a sudden, I got to become a bodybuilder.
Well, you know what?
I was telling Steve that he's a champion powerlifter.
Sure.
So he has the same mentality coming into bodybuilding.
That's right.
Which creates champions.
You better believe it. If you look at most top IFBB pros, at one point in their lives, they were powerlifters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And since myself, with my major injuries I've had in my life, I couldn't go into that realm of my training. But I said to myself, you know what? I can tailor something that works for me. You know what I mean? I may not be the biggest, but I can come in conditioned and rip and maybe try to win. You know what I mean? And it's worked for me. You know what I mean? I've gotten a taste of bodybuilding in the NPC, in the other federations that I've been in. And you know what? I wouldn't trade it for nothing. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't either.
There's nothing like it.
I had the best time of my life. Like I said, he knows what I had to go through to get to the stage.
Sure.
And it was a grind. It was a real grind because I wasn't 100% prepared, saying 22 weeks out I'm starting this, and this. I went to him and I said, Yousef, this is my diet, and it's just not making sense to me. And he said, whoa, he goes, what is this? He goes, get rid of this, this, and this immediately.
Sure.
So
and
we got
changes starting.
Well, absolutely. But I put in 2 hours of cardio a day. That's a grind. I mean, that's a grind. But this is Yousef's the most humble, gracious bodybuilder I've ever met. He gives back. I mean, he didn't have to give me any
Sure.
help.
Well, he seen potential, like I see. I see when I walked in. I want to thank both of you guys because I gotta head down the road.
Okay.
But is there anything that you want to maybe say back to the fans out there on Musclebox TV?
Well, the only thing I would say is if you haven't tried bodybuilding, physique, figure, bikini, whatever it is, do it one time. It's so rewarding. And, we're here at Powerhouse Gym. That's 505 Knorr Street in Philadelphia, PA. The gym's open to everybody. We're always, any bodybuilder that wants to come in, get a workout, I don't charge you a penny. Come in, you can talk to Yousef. All you young guys that are wanting to get started, you can talk to me or Yousef or Phil Treble. When Phil's here, we're more than happy to help any of you guys.
Yousef, you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I do want to say that I think the bodybuilding is a great sport in the world because not only does it give you discipline, but it gives you the knowledge of, like, if you say you overdo something on a vacation, you gain weight, you know how to come down, manipulate your body so you look where you want to look. And also that bodybuilding is like it builds character. You know what I mean? Because you get bodybuilding plus powerlifting all wrapped up in one. And anybody that's out there trying to pursue the sport, continue on doing it because, like I said, it's the greatest sport in the world, bodybuilding.
Well, you know what? For Musclebox TV, for the Broc Man, I'm so happy that Steve Webster let me into this facility to have an interview with both of you guys. Musclebox TV and the Broc Man want to wish both of you guys in 2015 you know, nothing but continued success. And I know you guys are going to reach for the stars and come home with some hardware.
Absolutely. This is the year, right?
Okay, guys.